Hi, David, and welcome to ILTACON 2021. How's it going so far for you guys?
It's actually been, with COVID and everything, it's been a surprisingly, pleasant surprise. We've had some good traction, some good, maybe not quantity, but a good quality conversations. So we're having a good show.
I had a conversation earlier with a member who was a longtime ILTAN, but hadn't been to conference in several years. So including 2029, when the world was more, shall we say, normal.
Right.
And she said she was, she missed having people,
Right.
but that she really enjoyed having the exhibit hall on site where the vendors were there because she could have conversations that they normally would have been trying to usher multiple people into a booth.
Right.
And she was able to actually pick a vendor because they were able to have a conversation that was longer to walk through her needs. Do you feel like that's at least something that you've been able to do?
Yeah, I think so. Since we've been involved for years now, so it's not uncommon for us to know, 50% of the folks that walk by the booth. So all of a sudden, we get that, I've been meaning to talk to you, and so yeah, it's been good, easy conversation. And again, since it's not as crowded, that it's not that feeding frenzy as much too. I mean, there's a lot more time to catch somebody that's not in a conversation. So it's been good.
I like that you've been part of ILTA for 8 or 9 years now. What do you think has changed most for you guys on your corporate roadmap? How have you kind of adjusted the conversations you've had in the booth, and what are you looking at to kind of go down the pipeline with your product now?
Well, from a corporate standpoint, our core products and services, we're an independent cybersecurity provider. We don't sell hardware and software, so that's kind of interesting because the different security products change.
Yeah.
And also too, now work from home, more folks in the cloud.
Yes.
So for us, we just try to keep sharpening our swords so that we can, we can be on top of the latest technology. I mean, the basic principles of security are the same, but now pieces are in different places, or we have different technologies or different threats. So for us, and law firms really haven't changed that much either. I mean, they use different technology as well. So
they like to think they've changed that.
Yeah. So but at the core, we we still do the same thing. We just keep we've grown, we've become more capable, and we just try to stay on top of what are they doing now? How are they moving their data? Is there anything that we need to look at or consider that we haven't been looking at, in the past?
I love that you guys are very specifically security centered. And sometimes we see, providers that do a little bit of everything. You guys are doing something that I think has been tremendously affected by the pandemic, and certainly will continue to be adjusted as we either go back into offices or kind of have that hybrid. How do you think the pandemic has affected firms the most, and how do you think that they need really your help right now the most?
Well, the sudden work from home, there were some firms we saw the whole spectrum. We saw firms that were 100% VDI, and they just basically don't come to the office, and they didn't have to change a thing. Then we had firms that were either halfway in between of a rollout, or they hadn't really, they were more traditional, everybody in the office. So we've seen the whole spectrum. The ones who were a little bit more technologically advanced, they probably didn't have to change their security profile because they already had it. The ones that we get most worried about are the ones that had to throw something in last minute because they didn't have time to call us and say, hey, is this secure? They said, I got all these attorneys at home. We got to get them to work. What's the fastest, best way to do it? And sometimes the fastest isn't always the most secure.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, even the ones that are more technologically advanced, now that the attack surface is spread out, you're not all behind the corporate firewall. The criminals and all of well, also too, in addition to the pandemic, we had a highly political election.
We did.
And so anytime there's a lot of activity like that, it's good fodder for the bad guys to see if they can't, get some clicks.
Sure.
So
I would love for our audience listening today to be able to come up and talk to you guys in the booth, but I'd love the people who are virtual with us, who will watch this later, who will come back to look for a security provider. I'd love them to get your elevator pitch. Would you mind?
Yeah, it's really pretty simple. We're independent, cyber only. We're a consultancy, so we focus on proactive services. We would rather get to know you before something bad happens, but if something bad happens, you can call us and we'll get you out of it. But we've got a full spectrum of services. We have pretty much everything all of the larger nationally known cyber firms have. We're just more of a boutique personal service. So That's
So
kind of
when
us.
we call, you'll answer.
Absolutely. Yeah, we put our mobile numbers on all of our cards and all of our signatures. So you don't call the help desk and just get a ticket number. You probably know the person you're talking to on the other end of the phone.
That sounds fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
David, I love this. Thank you so much. And I hope that your booth traffic continues, and we hope to see you at ILTACON 2022.
Well, thanks, Beth Ann. We appreciate it.